Hi guys, welcome to today's video, or at least the first of today's videos. So what I'd like to try and do is a longer video and then a shorter kind of technique video. So today's one is going to be on how to create shades and tints with your watercolors. So we're going to do it in this Strathmore watercolor book. I really like these because they're very inexpensive, but they're just a nice quality, and yeah, I like the formats that they use as well, like the longer. This is like a really long landscape one, and you can see here that I have kind of turned it to the side, and I'm actually using it in kind of a really long portrait format. Okay, so we're starting with Potter's Pink as our main colour here, and then we're going to create some tints of that, which means you add white, and we're going to add some shades of that, which means you add black. So I'm going to show you with watercolour, it's a little bit different, or we have a few different options. So I'm going to show you three of my favourites, and the first one is just to use white. You can see, so I'm using the titanium white in the blocks. It's the giant pan. And I'll link these products below, but yeah, so you can see that just adding the white, and then I'm just going to do kind of two tints and then two shades in varying, you know, one's a little bit lighter, one's a little bit darker, but you can see there kind of the general thing, and then you can actually add more in if you want. So the second way that we can create a tint with watercolor is just to use the water. So the paper actually becomes the white, and we don't need to add white. We can just add more water, and then the color will become tinted, or at least, you know, it will become less saturated. So the last way that I like to use to create, or the last thing that I like to use to create tints, is actually pearlescent white. So this is a Daniel Smith one. I think a few different brands create them, but this is the Daniel Smith pearlescent white, and so I really like using the shimmery white to create tints, and particularly with Potter's Pink I chose this one because I really like to mix this type of colour with all these, you know, different white. I really like it with the white, I like it with the shimmering white. That's one of my favourite mixes right there. So yeah, and then we will also mix it with three different darks. So instead of just mixing it with a black, I'm going to show you a couple of my other alternatives. So one of my favourites is Daniel Smith Hematite. So this is kind of a subtle, it's a very dark brown with kind of black granules in it, or black granulation. I really like this one. And so that's kind of my go-to to make shades with colours. I really like using this one. Or Hematite Violet is another really beautiful option. Okay, so the one that we just used is the Daniel Smith Black Tourmaline. So you can also use like a black iron oxide, which will have a lot of granulation as well. And then this last one we're doing is the Daniel Smith Van Dyck Brown. But I also really love the Schmincke Sepia Reddish. So that's another really nice alternative for creating darker shades of your colours. Okay, so another option is just to take a really dark colour, like this is Lunar Violet from Daniel Smith, and then add, you know, one of the different options we talked about. So here I'm going to add white. You could add just water or the pearl white, and just go down the sort of chroma spectrum and create, you know, less saturated versions of the colour. So again, I'm only going to do a few, but you could do, you know, quite a few. And you can see that I'm just adding a little bit more white and then a little bit more white, and you get these really beautiful milky colours. And then you could also do it the opposite way and take a very light colour like shell pink, and then add, you know, hematite or you know, another dark colour to it, and that also creates really beautiful mixes. So you can see there I'm using the Lunar Violet and then just adding the water. And you'll see in the next video I used a really large brush and a really sparkly colour, so that was just all in the water. I should have changed it before. But yeah, so on the palette here you can see I have put out a bunch of blues, and I started with the Schmincke Ice Blue, and I'll kind of show you, but I was just kind of adding those to each other, sort of going up the spectrum and creating. This is how I used this kind of method to create the cyanometer. Anyway, I saw one of these on Melissa Sweet's Instagram a few weeks ago, maybe a month, or I'm not sure how long, but fairly recently, and I was really intrigued by it, and so I wanted to create one, and kind of using this method. It's actually a really interesting thing to create. So you can see that I have the 3 palettes out there for the different blues that they have in them, and then I've created 2 versions of it, one in a sketchbook and one that I can cut out and actually take out and hold up to the sky. So I've just used the protractor to draw the circles there. You could use, you know, plates or cups or anything like that. I've used the ruler to just go around. You can see that it's not even, and I actually quite like the fact when some are a little bit wider. So where I have wanted to do colours that I really like, I've actually made it a little bit wider. But you can see that I've put some Schmincke Ice Blue on the palette. Then I added water just to really water that down to a very fine, almost white for the sky, and quite often there is that very wisp of white, sort of very light powdery colour in the sky. And yeah, you can see that I'm doing every second one, so I'm skipping the middle, and then I am you know, because I don't want the colours to bleed into each other, so you've got to skip the between ones and then go back and kind of do those in the you're kind of doing the mixes again that you've kind of missed in between those. So I feel like this was a really fun project, and I actually want to make a couple more, one with greens, and yeah, different colours, and kind of make sort of, my sister said like they like to call them hue compasses, which I think is really nice. And then yeah, that like you can take them out and kind of match things up when you are painting. But yeah, I really wanted to just take this out and kind of have an afternoon of painting clouds, but didn't really work out on the day that I was filming this. But anyway, it was just really nice, and yeah, let's see. So I will be back with another video, a longer video. I've been working on editing it and doing the voiceover, and it should be up later on today. Again, you guys can let me know like things that you would be interested in, these like just quick kind of 10 minutes, you know, techniques or brushes or papers or things that you are having a hard time with, or just anything. I would be interested to know. So yeah, I hope you are having a really nice week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.